All right. How you doing, my musical warriors? Mr. Maschmeier, Mr. Berry, back at you with the first class of the new year. We're jumping around a little bit, but there is a reason for that. We're going to move on to assignment number 30, and that is a theory assignment, just to kind of do a short review on other theory things, and that way then we can move on to some of the other listening assignments before we get to the end of the year. Speaking of which, we will be dropping the assignment, the final assignment, and the list of songs that you can choose from for our list. So you're going to want to check that out before tomorrow and maybe even get a jump on your final project, which is going to be listening to a song that you choose and answering 8 questions for your song, and then listening to a song from our list that you choose, which will be answering 6 questions. Just to remind you, it is about 30% of your grade, so this is not an assignment that you want to put off until the last minute, because we're not going to give you all that leeway, because this is your time to prove that you have been listening all quarter and making sure that you have the knowledge that we've been trying to download into your brain housing group. So without further ado, because this is a theory assignment, I am going to turn things over to my contemporary, Mr. Berry.
All right, guys, how we doing today? Happy New Year to everyone. Let's go ahead and let's mirror our screens and look at the assignment. So today we're dealing with measures, but before we start talking about measures, let's just do a quick review of the signs and the symbols that we've been seeing and we've kind of grown accustomed to seeing. So we're going to begin actually with this right here. Who can turn their microphone on and tell me what am I drawing right now?
That's anybody, choir or band.
Okay, how many?
The staff lines.
That's it.
That is staff. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, staff. So a staff consists of lines and spaces. To be specific, 5 lines, 4 spaces in between is where the music goes, is where the notes go. Okay, so that's that symbol. The next one that we're going to be looking at is this one right here, which kind of looks like an 8. What is that called? Anyone?
G Clef line.
All right,
G Clef. Yes. And what's another name for the G Clef?
Treble Clef.
Treble Clef. Excellent.
Treble Clef. Hey, I want others to answer too, guys.
Most definitely. And then we have this clef, which looks like a earlobe with 2 earrings. So this one is known as the F clef. What is that? What is that called? The F clef. Thank you. Bass clef. Bass clef. Most definitely.
Choir. Woohoo! Yay, choir.
Okay, so let's review these notes that we've gone over, starting with the one that looks like a bubble. So what is that called? And I want to also know the value of it.
Whole note 4.
Very
Thank
good.
you. Definitely a whole note, and it equals 4 beats.
Remember,
what about the one that looks like a whole note, but it has like the stem going up the side like this?
Half note.
That's right.
How many beats is a half note worth?
2.
2 beats is correct. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That is
and then we have the note that looks like a half note, but this one is shaded in. So what is that note called?
Quarter note.
Very good.
Known as a quarter note. And how many beats is a quarter note equal?
1.
1 is correct. Thank you, guys. So those were the notes. We also discussed rest. So this rest is actually a box that hangs from a line. So what rest is that hangs from the line?
It hangs from line 2.
Well, technically
Line 4.
line 4.
Whole rest.
A whole rest. Thank you. And how many beats is a whole rest equal?
Mr. Maschmeier, Phoenix said, can you look at your email?
Sure.
So one more time, whole rest. How many beats is a whole rest worth? Let me ask this question. How many beats is a whole note worth?
4.
A whole note and a whole rest, they have the same value. The difference is the note makes sound and the rest is silent.
But they both have
the same value of beats. Okay, the next one also is on. Well, this one actually sits on the line. It's a box that now is sitting on the line.
Sits on line 3.
So what rest? Thank you. A half rest. Most definitely a half rest. And how many beats is a half rest worth?
Come on, Daisha. How many beats?
2.
2. Very good.
2 beats. And then the last rest actually looks like a little squiggly line rest, kind of like that, or like that.
Kind of like lightning bolt.
Right, something like that. Okay, so what is this rest referred to as, and how many beats is it worth?
This is the squiggle, right?
So this rest is known as what?
The squiggle.
Thank you. It's known as a quarter rest.
Yep.
How many beats is a quarter rest worth?
1.
1 beat. Very good.
Thank you. Okay, and then the last one that we're going to talk about is this one right here. It's a number on top of another number. What is that referred to as?
It's like how many notes is in the staff.
How many beats? Yes.
How many beats? Okay, so that's the definition. The definition is how many beats per measure, or how many beats you can have inside of a measure. So what is it called? Let me give you a hint. What am I pointing at right now? What would go right here on my wrist?
A watch.
Yeah. And a watch tells what? A watch tells what?
Okay. That's the
What's
first
the
word.
word?
When you sign your name, what is it called?
Thank you. Time signature. I don't know who said it in choir, but time signature. Thank you very much.
Martin Choir said it.
Okay, so guys, that's stuff that we should most definitely know by now. So we just wanted to do a quick review on things that we've already learned. So now let's go ahead and focus our attention then on today's assignment, which is the measure. So I want to do some reading. I want you guys to listen up and pay attention. So it says, music is divided into measures by using what is known as bar lines. So those lines that go up and down that you see on the staff, those are bar lines, and they're dividing the staff into what is known as measures. So these are bar lines, what Mr. Maschmeier just circled. The distance between these bar lines are known as measures. So where he just shaded, that's the measure. Everything inside of 2 lines makes a measure. So these are measures right here. So here's some measures, examples of measures drawn right here. So you see at the beginning and at the end of each measure, you'll have what's known one more time as a bar line, just like that. Okay, then it says, hold on, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Okay, so when any part of the music is completed, we use what is known as a double bar line to indicate the end of the song, the end of the piece of music, the end of the exercise. Okay, so whenever you guys see a double bar line, it's like having a period at the end of the sentence. Okay, so that one more time, that is an indication of the end. So let's look at what's given to us real quick. I'm going to put a box around it. So that's what we're looking at right now. You guys see at the end of this particular music line that we have that double bar line right there. I just circled it. Okay. All right, so now let's look at this. Let's read what it says. Let me erase so that we can see the words here. So it says, number one, how many bar lines are there in the staff above? Turn your microphone on if you think you know the answer and answer that question one more time. How many bar lines are there? How many?
5.
Not 5.
All
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last one counts as a bar line as well. So how many bar lines do we have, class?
8.
8 is correct. 8. So now the next question reads, how many measures are there in the staff above? So now count the measures. And someone go ahead and turn your microphone on and answer that one when you have it. Anyone got it?
How many measures, gang?
8.
8. That's right.
8 is correct. 8 is correct. So now questions 3, 4, and 5 are similar. You have to make sure that you read all of the instructions because it's telling you it's instructing you to do multiple things, okay? So number 3, first thing it tells us to do is draw a treble clef sign on the staff below. First thing you're supposed to do is draw a clef sign, a treble clef, excuse me. The second thing that it tells us to do is divide the staff into 4 equal measures. So you see how Mr. Maschmeier first divides the staff in half. Then he takes the 2 halves and divides those in halves, which will give us 4 measures. Then the last thing that it says is place a double bar line at the end, which is what he just did there. So that's what you're supposed to do, guys, is read the instructions and then execute whatever it's telling you to do. I'll read the instructions for number 4 and 5, but you guys are going to have to go ahead and complete those on your own. So number 4, it says draw a treble clef sign. First thing you're supposed to do. Then it says divide the staff into 8 measures. Similar to the example above number 1. That's 8 measures there. So you can use that as a reference. Then it says place a double bar line at the end, just like we did for number 3. Then finally, it says place 1 whole note in each measure. So if we have 8 measures and it's telling us to place 1 whole note in each measure, how many whole notes will we be drawing for number 4, class? Anyone?
8.
8 is correct. Thank you.
8 is correct.
You're drawing 8 because it's telling you one more time to place 1 whole note in each measure, and you guys are being asked to divide it into 8 measures, so that would be 8 whole notes that you have to draw. Number 5, the first thing that it tells you to do is draw a bass clef. Very important that you read the instructions. Then it says divide the staff into 8 measures, just like you did for number 4. Then it says place a double bar line at the end, just like it instructs you to do for number 4. But the difference between, other than the clef, between 4 and 5, other than a clef, is the type of notes that you're going to be drawing in the measures. So now it's telling you to draw 2 half notes in each measure. So if we're dividing up our staff into 8 measures and it's asking us to draw 2 half notes in each of those 8 measures, how many total half notes are you going to draw for exercise 5? Anyone? How many half notes?
16.
16. Thank you very much. So yeah, 8 times 2, 16, most definitely. All right, guys. So now have at it. Guys, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask your questions. Let me go ahead and stop my presenting.
Me too.
And I see I have some students that just came in. Okay, if you're finished, I'll look at it in a second. It looks like you said, I'm finessed. This is what it looks like.
Finessed.
The way he spelled it.
All right, gang, that's all we got today for assignment number 30. I know it's out of order, but we thought that this would be an easier transition back into school after our long holiday. So We are going to go ahead and sign off for now. Mr. Barry, you started.
All right, guys. Peace out.
We love you. We'll see you again tomorrow.